Not even the union of all Earth's heroes was enough to defeat a single man, a blue, naked, and absolutely omniscient man, Dr. Manhattan. I'm Andrew the Geek Master, and in today's video we're going to revisit the day Dr. Manhattan defeated the entire DC universe. To not miss stories like this one, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and let's get started. In this story, a sequence of events laid the groundwork for an epic clash between Dr. Manhattan and Superman. Manhattan perceives time in a non-linear way, which means he sees the past, present, and future simultaneously. However, he revealed that he could see the future only up to the moment when Superman flew toward him. After that, there was only emptiness. He himself wondered whether that would be the moment he died, or the moment he destroyed everything. But before the scheduled date for that cosmic collision, chaos arrived early. A burst of blue energy during an incident involving firestorm in Russia killed civilians and left Superman in a coma. Batman tried to warn them that the firestorm present wasn't the real one, and he was right. That display of power didn't come from Ronnie Raymond, but from Dr. Manhattan himself. Tracking the origin of the energy released in the explosion, the Justice League and several other heroes followed it to Mars. The signature was unmistakable. They were about to face an entity capable of manipulating time, reality, and subatomic particles. But even so, they decided there was no other choice. It was the greatest hero gathering in history. All of Earth's Green Lanterns, the Justice League in multiple versions, Justice League Europe, Justice League United, Justice League Dark, Doom Patrol, the Titans, the Shazam family, mystical heroes like Zatanna, Swamp Thing, and Dr. Fate. Even independent figures like Mr. Miracle, Captain Atom, Red Tornado, and many others came together to prevent a total catastrophe. Mars was surrounded by a shield generated by the Green Lantern Corps. Firestorm created a breathable atmosphere to allow the fight to happen, until Dr. Manhattan appeared before them, calm, nude, with his unshakable posture. When Dr. Manhattan appeared, Guy Gardner didn't hesitate. The Lantern rushed at the enemy with arrogance, and believed for a second he had won after snapping the opponent's neck with a single punch. But Manhattan's body doesn't follow ordinary rules. He only simulated a fall, and then completely unraveled Gardner's ring after instantly understanding how the emotional spectrum worked. John Constantine, Etrigan, and Zatanna attempted a magical approach, assuming that would be the opponent's Achilles heel. But they were completely mistaken. Manhattan explained that magic was nothing more than glitches in the system of reality, tiny bugs in the universe's code, and manipulating them was trivial for someone with his perception, and that's exactly what he did. He absorbed the spells cast by the Dark League with ease, studied them instantly, and returned them even stronger, customizing magical attacks for each mystical combatant and tailoring them precisely to destabilize opponents like Aquaman, Hawkwoman, Martian Manhunter, and the Flash. Shazam and his family, along with Starfire and others, launched powerful energy blasts that dissolved as if they were breezes. One by one, all the heroes fell before a force that didn't even need to move to defeat them. Amid the destruction, Manhattan accessed Firestorm's mind and revealed that his powers hadn't come from an accident, but from a deliberate plan. He explained that the Firestorm project was actually a political weapon created by the US government, something that directly echoed the core themes of the comic. The revelation deeply shook Ronnie Raymond, but paradoxically it pushed him to fight back. His attack, one of the very few that worked, caused Dr. Manhattan to kneel briefly. It was the first sign of weakness from that nearly omnipotent being, and Green Arrow made sure to let the others know. At that moment, hope was reignited among the heroes, fueling a collective offensive where they all attacked at once, trying to overwhelm the enemy with the diversity and intensity of their combined powers. They launched a unified assault with everything they had. It was also at that moment that Captain Atom stepped in and told the powerful being to forget Superman, claiming that Captain Atom would be the last thing he'd ever see. That line came with the launch of an attack so powerful and intense that it disintegrated Manhattan's body at the molecular level, triggering a massive explosion that made many believe the battle was finally over. The blast was truly colossal. Heroes celebrated, but unfortunately, the victory was short-lived. Within seconds, Manhattan's body began to reassemble slowly, particle by particle. Standing amid rubble and wounded heroes, he arrogantly asked what exactly they had hoped to accomplish, and with a single omnidirectional blast, he brought all the combatants down. Yes, Earth's greatest defenders lay unconscious, defeated, scattered across Mars, and Dr. Manhattan stood there, untouched, staring into the void. Green Lantern Hal Jordan even tried to call in backup from the Corps, but with a single gesture, Manhattan multiplied himself and incapacitated all the remaining heroes. However, when Superman and Dr. Manhattan, the two most powerful beings of their respective realities, finally met, the outcome wasn't what most had expected. Instead of an epic battle, something happened that forever changed the DC multiverse. What occurred was a profound dialogue about destiny. Dr. Manhattan had already seen the future and believed there were only two possibilities. Either he killed Superman, or Superman destroyed him, along with all of reality. After that meeting, all he could see was emptiness, but he was wrong. There was a third path, and Superman showed it without using force, but by example. While the two were talking, a task force made up of super beings from various nations arrived to attack Superman. They falsely blamed him for a massacre in Moscow, a reversible accident caused by firestorm. Hungry for justice, they charged at him with everything they had. Amid the chaos, Superman protected Dr. Manhattan from the attacks, even after Manhattan claimed he had killed Clark's parents. That alone was enough to change Manhattan's view of the situation. Even while being the target, Superman did everything he could to protect the innocent, including someone like him. That gesture made Dr. Manhattan reconsider his role. Instead of destroying or vanishing, he should use his power to restore. Until that moment, he had been the architect of a darker universe. He was directly responsible for the New 52 reboot. He was the one who prevented Alan Scott from becoming Earth's first Green Lantern. Without Alan, there was no Justice Society. Without the JSA, Clark Kent had no heroes to look up to. As a result, Clark never became Superboy, which meant the Legion of Superheroes was never formed. Without Superboy, Clark's parents died in an accident, and the hero grew up more distant, less connected to humanity. All of it was the consequence of Manhattan's interference. Acknowledging his mistakes, Manhattan traveled back in time and reversed his own alterations, initiating DC's rebirth. Alan Scott becomes a Green Lantern, the Justice Society is reborn, Clark saves his parents from the accident, the Legion of Superheroes exists again, and unlike previous reboots, this all happens in real time. But the story doesn't end there. Dr. Manhattan, who perceives all of time at once, was finally able to see the future again. He foresaw that in 2020, the universe would be bombarded by the energies of the old gods, which came to pass when Superman faced Olgren, an ancient god, during the Superman the War World saga. He predicted that in July 2025 a crisis would occur, and notice, this very month marks the beginning of DC's next major event involving the main universe and the new absolute universe created by Darkseid. It was also revealed that in 2026, the timeline would be restored and the fifth heroic age would begin. But Dr. Manhattan didn't stop there. In 2030, he glimpsed what is called the Secret Crisis, where Superman will be transported to another universe and face none other than Thor. The mention of a green giant more powerful than Doomsday, who sacrifices himself to save Superman, further fuels speculation about a future crossover between DC and Marvel, especially considering we're already getting a few crossovers between the two publishers this year. Each of these visions gives rise to a new Earth. The multiverse blossoms with new realities. In some of them, Superman arrives on Earth in 2038, 2045, or even in 2162. But in all these versions, one thing remains constant: the symbol of hope. There is always a ship, a child welcomed, and Superman becomes who he's meant to be. Dr. Manhattan finally understands. Superman is the anchor. He is the one who inspires and unites humanity through his actions. He is the bridge that stretches across generations and will lead everyone to peace.